The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. It is time for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on a Monday, finally back for the first time in a long time. You can see a little different background here. We've done some stuff here. Hey, I wanted to make sure that we were good because I don't see any levels over here on my audio board. So now that's got me wondering how things are going on here on the show today. But as you can see, it looks a little bit different in here. We had to change some things around, still getting this room where it needs to be. I hope you all don't hear the echo that is absolutely bothering the hell out of me at this exact moment right now because, hey, I mean, new looking studio here that we've got with the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. I got my guy, Tommy Cananza, tuned in saying, what's up, Tip? Welcome back. What's up, Tommy? Hope that you are having yourself a fantastic day today so far, my friend. Ooh, we don't have to worry about kids in the car anymore, do we, Tommy? I'm trying to think about it. Do we have to worry about kids in the car anymore? Tommy's saying he doesn't hear an echo. So, you know what? It's just me being super picky about the way that, you know, I want things to be in my own little world and all those things like that. All right. So enough of that. You can see, like I said, new little different looking studio that we've got here going on. Oh, and Tommy says, yes, my other daughter is a senior. Oh, no. We are going to ruin the lives of two young children as they move on in their education. But congrats to her. Hey, senior year, a time for a lot of memories, and you got an amazing dad who's going to help you out with those memories as well. All right, so we've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back. Let me hit it just like Baby Bash said. We had a lot of stuff going on. As you can see, new, different looking studio. So we had to get some stuff made over here to get the show back how I want the show to be. Obviously, I'm going to have to get some headphones or something like that because I can hear the echo. I'm sure y'all can't hear the echo, but it's something that's going to be bothering me. You can see I've got my Utter Tuggers hat on right now. Shout out to the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the Utter Tuggers that they've got out in that area as well. You know what? I've like fallen in love, and I've always been this way with like the minor league baseball hats because it's so much more fun. So much more fun. Tommy says, next year my son will be a sophomore, so I'll be dropping him off next year as well. Jesus, man, there's going to be all these years of us on this show having to worry about what happens at 8:30. So remember, Tommy, 8:30. You know what's going to happen at 8:30. Everybody around here knows what's going to happen at 8:30. A freshman is what Tommy says. We know what's going to happen at 8:30. So I'll try my best to not do it before 8:30. I can't ever I cannot make it a promise. Tommy's saying we've got this for at least 5 more years. Hey, you know what? That's awesome. That is awesome. And you will be able to stream this show in multiple areas. As you know, we are live on the Just the Tip Network, on Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network, of course, in Chicago with our friends, the Under the Hood podcast channel. Shout out to everybody in the Chi. I need to find a way to get on out there. I need to go hang out with my dude, Jonathan Hood. Drink some Malort. I've been trying. Those of you that have been around the show long enough know that I do a show called Bob, Jim, and Pat Get Drunk on the Internet. For those that are in Chicago, we, James Steele, Pat Costello, and myself met at ESPN's headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. And one of the shows that we were really like a huge part of was Dickerson and Hood. That's where we started learning about, all these little things, learning about each other. We got to meet Jay Hood, we got to meet Jeff Dickerson, all those people like that. And we learned about Malort. And ever since I've learned about Malort, I've been trying to get them to join me in some drinks with Malort. I know it's not going to end well for your boy. It's basically Everclear. Those who know, right? Like if you ever had Everclear, you know what Everclear is, what it's going to do to you. Shouldn't have to think about it, but hey, it happens from time to time. But I'm trying to get my guys to get some Malort. Maybe that's what we got to do. We got to go to Chicago. A show trip. Bob, Jim, and Pat Get Drunk on the Internet. We go to Chicago. We hang out with our guy, Jay Hood. And we drink some Malort. I wonder if I can get it shipped to El Paso now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe Tommy, maybe you can join me in drinking this Nectar of the Gods, I believe is what some people have called it. Nectar of the Gods is what Malort is known as. If you don't know what Malort is, look it up online. It's apparently the worst alcohol ever made. But you know me, like I've got to try it, right? I know I've been gone for a bit. The El Paso Chihuahuas, the minor league baseball team that I work for, along with the El Paso Locomotive FC, the USL soccer club that I work for, second tier soccer here in El Paso, minor league soccer here in El Paso. They've been keeping me busy. Tommy's saying I've drank Everclear one time and never again. No, okay, so that's got to be the question then, my guy. Did you drink it like straight up? Because if you did that, you're an absolute monster, and I can understand why you never drink it again. Or did you drink it with like some jungle juice? In which case, you're an absolute monster, and I can understand why you never did it again. But at least there's some flavor there. I've done both because I'm an idiot, right? Like I have never once in my life pretended like I am not a dumbass MF. Drinking Everclear all by itself, like a shot of Everclear, just to like prove to people I'm a man, damn it. Look, if you've got young kids out there, or even if you're a younger person yourself, you don't have to drink Everclear to prove that you're a man. If anything, what it proves is that you're easily manipulated and dumb as shit. Like just plain and simple, dumb as shit. DAS. You were dumb as shit. Tommy's saying it wasn't jungle juice. Okay, cool. Hey, cool, man. Well, you know how like you can remember something and you get the taste of it in your mouth? That's how I feel right now talking about this Everclear. Okay. I mean, hey, let's go like this. All right. This is going to be a new comment that comes up here. Man who needs cookies said, I've been on the toilet all morning, erupting from my anus. You might want to get that checked out. Tell your boyfriend to go a little easier on you next time. Sometimes you just got to glide in, man. You can't just like ram it in there, dude. Like you got to slow it down just a little bit, man. Sweet talk a little bit, something like that, you know? But hey, I hope everything starts feeling better for you. Or maybe that's how you like it, and I'm not here to judge you. Tommy's saying, I woke up in a pile of my own vomit on the side of someone's house who took shots too, LOL. And then saying, what the F was that comment? That's what I love about YouTube is you got people who are like starving for attention. And I'll give them the attention. I got no problem with it. Like I said, man, hey, tell your boyfriend, calm down a little bit. Hey, it'll be all right, okay? Tommy, I feel bad for your child if they're in the car at this moment. I said, the first thing I said, the first show back after a little bit of a hiatus, I come back, and the first thing I said was, Tommy, I am going to be more cognizant. I'm going to try my best to be cognizant, to not say just outlandish things. I hope your child was not in the car when I said that. Augustine saying, is this the Twilight Zone? Where am I? I'm not starving, LOL. Tommy's saying, right? What's going on here? And y'all know me. I don't have much of a filter. I probably should, like, given the positions that I'm in sometimes, the rooms that I navigate through, that I meander through, I should probably develop a little bit of a filter, but then that's just not me. And I am, trying my best to be as authentic as one can be. Augustine says it's good to have you back. Augustine, it is good to be back. Like I said, you can see different look, all that type of stuff. Augustine say what positions? What positions are we talking about? Oh, whoo! We wiped the sweat off my brow. Tommy's saying she's not in the car yet. I'm on my way to pick her up from her mom's house. LOL. Hey, I am good with that. Awesome. So does that mean I'm gonna have to learn this new clock of yours, Tommy? So maybe we do just the tip segment at 15 minutes. But we'll have to learn. Like, look at this, Tommy. What other show out there would negotiate with the listeners, supporters of the show, with what time they should play certain segments? None. No segment, no show will do that. That shows how much I love and respect you, Tommy, as an individual. We're going to learn what would be the best time going forward to play just the tip segment. Still brought to you by Happy Nuts. I've got to work on getting some more sponsors. As you know, whenever you take a break a few times, you get some issues. Happy Nuts, still sticking by your boy. So thank you. Shout out to our friends over at Happy Nuts. Go visit the guys. Support them for supporting this silly ass shit that I do. www.myhappynuts.com. We'll talk about that more going forward. Tommy says 8:15 to 8:30. Okay. We have found our sweet spot in the window. 8:15 to 8:30. And Tommy says, that's why you're the GOAT. LOL. Yes. Many people are saying, very many smart people, very much of them saying, goats. We love the goats. You get to milk them, they bad. Tommy says, not Tommy. Augustine says, buy Happy Nuts. No, wait, buy Happy Nuts. No, wait, damn it. Also, Augustine, I hope that audio actually got to be played. Augustine sent me a clip of him talking to UTEP Miners head coach, basketball coach, Joe Golding, ahead of the season as UTEP was playing a game in Juarez. I love seeing that stuff, man, where you get to have, UTEP going over across, supporting, showing love to Juarez, because there are a ton of fans from Juarez that come over into El Paso to subject themselves to the horrors of watching UTEP men's basketball. I mean, the pleasures of watching UTEP men's basketball. I keep saying that I'm going to work on my relationship with UTEP, and it seems like it's never going to happen. That's a different subject for another day. We're the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, live here on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on X, all over the place. We got our guy, Jonathan Hood, who already is it still a retweet? if it's on X, is it like a re-Xing? Like I don't know what it'll be called. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Maybe it's just a damn retweet. Jonathan Hood retweeted the show over on X. Augustine says that he would dare say that the split is equal. People that go to the UTEP basketball games from Juarez or even support any of the stuff here in El Paso from Juarez. It really is. It really is, man. Like I love seeing how integrated both countries are, both cities are. If you're not from the El Paso area, not familiar with the El Paso area, El Paso lies right on the border in the far west tip of Texas, which is why I have the Just the Tip name along with my actual name. Right on the border, so we do get a lot of people, a lot of back and forth. You know, we go over to Mexico all the time. People from Mexico come over here all the time. It's a community that thrives with one another. And being again in the job that I'm in, I get to see firsthand a ton of people all the time in the baseball stadium for the soccer games, for the baseball games, any of that stuff from all over Mexico, just coming in to check out what the Chihuahuas are doing. Our Matachinas night is always amazing. Our Eddie Guerrero night. Our promo manager, Parker Landreth, did a phenomenal job out there with the Eddie Guerrero bobblehead. It was absolutely amazing. You can see, got to remember what side my sides are on. I got that Eddie Guerrero thing over there. I've got the two belts over on this side, the two WWE championship belts that Eddie Guerrero won. No, they're not the actual belts. They're replicas, nerd. I don't got that kind of money. Look at that. I have to get used to talking this much all over again. But yeah, fun times. Absolutely a great time. Okay. I guess there's no time better than now to go ahead and just jump right on into it. I had mentioned in the previews of the show that I was going to be talking about the NFC South, the AFC South. We're going to be breaking those teams down because, hey, football season's right here upon us. Augustine's saying you know how to use those lips. I'm not too sure what to take from that. Augustine saying, by the way, we missed the entire World Cup. We did? When did that happen? What on God's green earth is this World Cup that you're talking about? Is there a cup that is that large that the whole world can sip from it? I have no idea what you're talking about, Augustine. World Cup. That's news to me. Tommy's saying that I've got to get used to Augustine all over again. Was that the worst part of the time away, Tommy? Is that you have to get used to Augustine one more time? It's like, oh no, Augustine's coming back. Augustine saying, yes, tell Duke that. Also, shout out to Duke, Keith, and Brandon the Iceman Cone on the broadcast this week with the El Paso Locomotive. An absolutely fantastic job. Love hearing, my buddies on the broadcast for El Paso Locomotive. Tommy saying real football is back, no soccer. We talk soccer about our El Paso Locomotive, our beloved El Paso Locomotive. That's when we talk about soccer here, Tommy, for now. Augustine saying, and what a good job Cone did. Way better than before. All right. So I was thinking about it, right? We had mentioned a little bit earlier, sometimes you just got to raw dog stuff. And I think the best way for us to go ahead and get used to what this show is, get back into the flow of this show particular, is to not just dive all the way in, but to give you just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip. It feels good to say that. Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Guys, go over to myhappynuts.com. Check out the different bundles they have. It's never too early to get ready for Christmas time because it's the gift that keeps on giving. You don't want that duck butter. You don't want that swamp ass. You don't want to feel sticky and nasty as you walk all through El Paso or any of these other places. World record heat waves that are happening all over the country, all over the world. And you know what? You can feel comfortable down there with My Happy Nuts Comfort Cream. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Save on all your male grooming needs. Guys, it's the only way to get through this hot, hellacious summer. www.myhappynuts.com. Promo code Mike Tipton at checkout. Make sure your nuts are as happy as my nuts with happynuts.com. There we go. First one. Look at that. And it wasn't too egregious. It wasn't too nasty. It wasn't any of that other stuff. It was just us having a good old time. Friends having a good old time like friends do. We got it in before Tommy was able to pick up his child, so no children had to listen to that unless you have a child in the car, in which case that's your fault. Ashley saying, Tip, welcome back, my guy. What up, fellas? Ashley getting excited, getting ready for the NFL season as well. You can always check out her podcast, Talking About It with Ashley, doing a whole bunch of fun stuff out there. Talking about mental health all the time, and it is important to make sure your mental health is taken care of. I will always be an advocate for people taking care of their mental health. Okay, so we had mentioned it, like I said, and we are going to bring it back up, talking about the AFC South, the NFC South, and getting ready to talk about things in these divisions. Whenever you look at everything that's going on in the NFL. Oh no. Tommy said, no. She's in the car, LMAO. She's in the car between 8:15 and 8:30. Okay. So 8:30 would be the best time then. We just keep it at 8:30. We don't have to worry about anything. My apologies, Tommy. Look at us. We're talking about football. Sorry, young child, young anonymous nameless child. I will make sure in the future that you don't have to hear about www.myhappynuts.com. The way the AFC South played out last year was like a dream for your boy. I told everybody, put all your money, put all your ducats on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were going to be the team that was going to surprise a lot of people. Got told left and right, our guy B. Strilla tuned into the show just to tell me flat out one day, you are an idiot. You know nothing, absolutely nothing about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are dog shit, hot dog shit is what he said about our beloved Jacksonville Jaguars, everybody's second favorite team on this show. And what did our Jaguars do? They just went 13-4, first in the division, absolutely dominant. And the AFC South was surprisingly very fun to watch, right? You had the Houston Texans go 12-5, so one game separating the number 1 and number 2 teams in the division. Then you had the Indianapolis Colts, which were kind of like a Cinderella story there for a bit. Like they were really good at the very beginning part of the season. They wind up going 8-9, finishing third in the division. And then you have the Tennessee Titans, who probably don't even want to talk about last season, going 3-14. Just not a fun time to be a Tennessee Titans fan. But again, they're rebuilding, right? But those three top teams right there, the Jaguars, the Texans, the Colts, they gave you something there, if you're a fan, to be happy about. So let's start off with the team that nobody wants to talk about. Let's just get them knocked out of the way right now. And that is going to be the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, once again, like I said, they go 3-14. They're not that great. They're not having themselves a fun time. But they have a rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. He goes out there, gets 3,169 yards, 15 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, throws about 186 yards a game, right? Not terrible, but not great, but, pretty decent for a rookie, especially given the situation that he's into, because who the hell do you have to throw the ball to if you're the Tennessee Titans? Tony Pollard, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Another Dallas Cowboys running back out there getting 1,000 yards, got 1,082 yards on the season. A handful of touchdowns. Nothing to write home about, right? Obviously, they're not a great team. There's a reason why they were 3-14. Y'all know me. Even though they had the number 1 overall pick, my whole thought process was trade that pick, get more picks, build around your team, because you have much more problems than a quarterback. And 90% of the time, we would say the AFC South is one of those divisions where it could be a coin toss, right? Like the right team can get hot at one point in time. Like, would anybody be surprised if the Jacksonville Jaguars wound up being the worst team in that division this year? I don't think so, because the AFC South always seems to give us those weird-ass things that happen like that in that division. If I'm looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, and I'm looking at the Tennessee Titans, I can see a scenario where they flip standings, right? Because I don't know if I still don't trust the Houston Texans. And I know that sounds like sacrilege to a lot of people out there. My neighbor, Carlos, an awesome dude, Houston Texans fan. That's the only bad thing about him. He could go murder people, and that would be better than being a Houston Texans fan. That's a joke. Please don't take that seriously. But the Tennessee Titans, again, who do you have on this team? What have they done to get better? I'm glad you asked that question, rhetorical person out there. Let's look at what the Tennessee Titans did in free agency. They go out, they get wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, who had a great season last year with Russell Wilson. The reason why he kind of fell off towards the end of the year last year was because they had Jameis in there. They had Jackson Dart in there, and he's the type of guy, Wan'Dale Robinson is the type of guy that will just take the lid off the top of the team, right? That's what Russell Wilson was still really good at, was those deep balls, those deep, deep passes that Russell Wilson has always been great at, will always be great at. That's what helped Wan'Dale Robinson be serviceable, right? A pretty damn good wide receiver for the New York Giants. He goes over to the Tennessee Titans on a 4-year, $70 million contract, $17.5 million AAV. That's a deep threat to help out Cam Ward. But my question to you is, and maybe it's just me being ignorant on Cam Ward's abilities, we didn't really see that at Miami whenever he was there. We didn't really see, the arm strength. He didn't have to show off the arm strength at Washington or any of that other stuff. There's not much to make you say to yourself confidently that Cam Ward has that type of arm to release the deep passes, right? So maybe that's going to be something that we get to see. Maybe that's a new wrinkle in what they have. I love Chigga Okonkwo, right? Like he is a phenomenal tight end. I have him on multiple fantasy teams. It's about time they started using him. Okonkwo, if you don't have him on a fantasy team, get him on a fantasy team. He's going to be the great – every young quarterback, every good quarterback needs to have that check down blanket, right? And that's what Okonkwo is. Tommy's saying that the Tennessee Titans need much more than that, much more than just Wan'Dale Robinson. They addressed some issues on the defensive line. They really did go heavy on the defense in not just the free agency, but also in the draft. We'll talk about the draft coming up in a little bit. But another free agent that they got, a 3-year, $63 million deal, was to John Franklin Myers, defensive lineman from the Denver Broncos. If you remember anything from last season, the Denver Broncos had a really damn good defense. So we're trying to get that, right? They go and they get Alontae Taylor, the cornerback from the New Orleans Saints. 3 years, $58 million. Another cornerback, Cordell Flott. And then Daniel Bellinger, 3 New York Giants that they wound up giving well over $150 million to. I don't know if I would have done that for New York Giants. There was nothing that the Giants did last year that made me say, that team's pretty damn good. But Daniel Bellinger is a pretty halfway decent tight end. You put him on the other side of Okonkwo, and you've got something working for you there, right? You've got the makings of a team. You have a halfway decent running back game. The offensive line obviously going to be an issue. You have Mitchell Trubisky as your backup quarterback. I like that. They went out and they signed Mitchell Trubisky from the Buffalo Bills. 2-year, $10.5 million for a backup. Hey, that's halfway decent. I'd be happy with that. In the NFL draft, and this is what Tommy was talking about, right? We spoke about the signing of Wan'Dale Robinson, rather. With the 4th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans drafted Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. So there you go. You have Okonkwo and Bellinger as your tight ends. Tony Pollard, he's okay at being able to catch out of the backfield. But then you have Tate and Robinson there to help you out a little bit. I like it. Again, it's not going to be something that can it's going to break the walls off or anything like that. It's not anything to write home about, but it's the makings of a team that we should expect to get better. Again, 3 wins on the season, you can't get much worse. So there's an opportunity there for the Tennessee Titans to get better. Kendrick Falk with the second to last pick, the penultimate pick in the NFL draft, a pick that was traded from New England to Buffalo to Tennessee. Keldrick Falk, edge rusher, helping out that defense as well. Then in the second round, they get Anthony Hill Jr., a linebacker out of Texas, and another pick that was traded from Buffalo to Chicago to ultimately Tennessee. The makings are there. Obviously, I don't see them being a number 1 overall team, right? I don't see them winning the division, but they can make noise. They're going to be in that space that I love to see teams in, which is we can play spoiler or we can surprise a ton of people. That's what the Tennessee Titans are going to be. But then they can also be really bad because we just don't know, right? We just don't know. Like Tommy's saying, Carnell Tate could be nice, but he's a rookie. We don't know yet. We don't know what to expect with this team. But I think I think if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you have reason to be optimistic. And again, that's what this part of the season is, right? That's all we watch sports for, is because we're trafficking in hope. We hope that our team can be great. Maybe they can. Maybe they can, man. There's the building blocks there. Now, let's look at another team that I think was very similar in that line that I'm talking about right now. That team that was interesting. They were fun to watch. You knew they could play spoiler. The Indianapolis Colts. They went 8-9 last year. It was a career resurgence for Daniel Jones. I think all of us, whenever we saw that the Colts paid Daniel Jones to be their quarterback, this team is just giving up. They're tanking for the first overall pick, is what we all thought whenever the Indianapolis Colts signed Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones surprises us and has a really good season prior to tearing the ACL. I want to say it was week 14, not 100% sure on when it was late in the season. Phillip Rivers had to come in and finish out the remainder of the season for the Indianapolis Colts. But they were there, man. Like we had hope, if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan, that they were going to make some noise. That there was that possibility. Maybe they go out there, they make some noise. Daniel Jones throws for 3,101 yards, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 230 some odd yards a game is what he's, what he did. They have Jonathan Taylor, a 1,500 yard season, 18 touchdowns on the season, comes into this year, had, I want to say, a couple of days as the highest paid running back in the NFL, signs a 2-year, $44 million contract, $39 million of that guaranteed. You got Alec Pierce, 1,000-yard season with 6 TDs last year. Tyler Warren, the rookie, comes in, gets 817 yards, 4 tutties as well. You see the makings of a pretty damn good offense there, right? Especially if you can get anything close to what Daniel Jones gave you. Like if this is what Daniel Jones has, and he's able to be that game managing guy for you, you don't need him to do too much because you have Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, I think he's only 27 years old, Jonathan Taylor, which is weird because it feels like he's been in the NFL forever, but only 27 years old. You have a youngish team entering their prime. Offensively, I think they can probably put up points with most teams, right? Like they're not an offensive juggernaut by any means, but they can do some stuff. Let's see what the Indianapolis Colts did in free agency. What can they do to get better? Well, they bring back the aforementioned Alec Pierce on a 4-year, $114 million deal. They get an edge rusher to help out that defense. 2 edge rushers to help out that defense. One from the Jets, one from the Titans. Maybe those aren't the edge rushers you want, but it gives you depth, right? Michael Clemens and Arden Key on a $17 and $16 million deal, respectfully. They go out and get Akeem Davis-Gaither from the Arizona Cardinals, who I like. I don't understand what's going on with my guy, but they get him on a 1-year, $2.725 million contract. Not bad, right? Like you're able to do some stuff there. They re-signed Mo Alley-Cox as the backup tight end along with Andrew Ogletree because we know Tyler Warren's going to be that number 1 tight end guy. Locked it down. Absolutely locked it down. In the draft, the Indianapolis Colts, they didn't have a first-round pick this year, but they had a second-round pick. They go out and they get linebacker C.J. Allen out of Georgia. So again, focusing on that defense. That's the question for them: is this defense? Can they stop anybody? We know they can be a serviceable enough offense, but can they stop anybody? They go out and they get A.J. Halsey, Jesus Christ, a safety out of LSU. Get some help along the offensive line with Jalen Farmer. Don't forget, like the Colts habitually have a great offensive line. So you just get depth along the offensive line. But their first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of their first 6 picks in the draft, all focused on defense along the linebacking core and the defensive line. If you're a Colts fan, that's probably what you wanted to see. Offensively, we're solid. Offensively, you're solid if you're a Colt. The next team on our list here in the AFC South, a division dominated. They weren't really dominated, but dominated by our beloved Jacksonville Jaguars, are the Houston Texans. They were a weird team to me because you saw a huge regression in C.J. Stroud. Still throws for 3,000 yards, gets 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 217 yards a game. But it just didn't look like the C.J. Stroud that we had gotten used to seeing the year prior, right? Like it just didn't seem like it was a C.J. Stroud that we had all gotten accustomed to seeing. But they still go 12-5 on the season. Why? Because that defense was phenomenal. That Houston Texans defense was a Super Bowl caliber defense. It was the offense that gave them the issues. And you say to yourself, okay, Nico Collins had 1,100 yards on the season, 6 tutties, halfway decent for him. I guarantee nobody knew that Woody Marks was the leading rusher for the Houston Texans last year. 703 yards, 2 tutties. Nick Chubb goes out there, 506 yards, 3 tutties on the season. The defense for the Texans was phenomenal, but that offensive line, what's worse than dog shit? Would it be like wet dog shit, soggy dog shit? You know, whenever your dog eats something that it shouldn't eat and you hear it start making some noises and you got to run out, unzip it out of its damn bed and hope that it makes it all the way out the door. It was like that. Or even worse, whenever it does it, but you don't hear it and you wake up and then all of a sudden it just smells like dog shit in your entire house. That's what the Houston Texans offensive line was. Soggy ass dog shit. Tommy's saying that he thinks the Texans bounce back and win the division this year. I mean, I can see that. Right? I don't know if that's a bold take, but I can see that. They lost the division by a game. But I will not, Tommy, hear me out here. I'm going to take the graphic off. I will not stand for the besmirchment and just absolute hatred shown towards our Jacksonville Jaguars. I will not stand for that, Tommy. Back to what we were doing. Augustin saying cowboy dog shit. That's worse. LOL. And great defense, shit offense. It really did seem that way, right? So, what do the Tennessee Titans do? Or not Tennessee Titans, wow. I guess they kind of were. What do the Houston Texans do in this offseason? Well, they go out and they sign Reed Blankenship, helping out the defense. Okay, I can see that. They go out, they get Braden Smith, helping along the offensive line, right tackle / guard from the Indianapolis Colts. They go out and get another guard, Wyatt Teller, once again helping out along that offensive line. They signed Jadeveon Clowney back to help along that defensive line. You know, they're doing stuff. They're making a couple of moves, nothing super splashy. You don't have to make a big-ass splash. Well, what do they do in the draft? I'm glad you asked. They go and they invest in the offensive line. They get Kalen Rutledge out of Georgia Tech, one of the highest-rated guards in the NFL draft with number 26 overall pick. 2 picks in the second round. They go out and they help out the defensive line. They get Caden McDonald out of Ohio State, a defensive tackle who I believe is going to help them out immensely. They get a tight end, Marlon Klein, out of Michigan, which I don't understand that one so much because I do like Dalton Schultz, but whatever. I'm just some guy. They lose Tim Settle, not a huge deal. They lose Christian Kirk, once again, not a huge deal. You look at the people that they lose, the Houston Texans lose, and it's nothing bad, right? I would have liked to have seen them go after more along the offensive line, but you can't hate too much on this, right? Like they're okay. They're doing all right. They're doing what you expect them to do. Got to get used to talking this much again. Jesus. Feel my throat. I have a tea called Throat Coat, and it's so close to Throat Goat that it's uncomfortable for me to say. But maybe I get a sponsorship from them, and I become the Throat Coat Goat. Tommy's saying Dalton Schultz is washed. The biggest issue that I always have with him, and it was the same in Dallas, is like in those big moments, he just didn't show up. Or like he would catch the ball, run half the route, and then fumble. Like it was weird, man. It really was weird. I know the moment that you all been waiting for, our Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval, stand up. Unlike Liam Cohen, who said, Duval. Trevor Lawrence finally showing us what a number one overall pick should show us. 4,000 yards on the season, 29 tutties, 12 interceptions. You'd like to see that interception number drop, but hey, he did halfway decent. 235.7 yards a game last year. Travis Etienne finally showing up as well. 1,100 yards in the season, 7 touchdowns, 36 receptions, 300 yards almost, 6 touchdowns, 13 total touchdowns from Travis Etienne. And then Parker Washington, a cousin of friend of the show, Ashton Washington. Ashton Washington is an assistant coach with the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Hasn't been on the show in a while, but she did football camps with the Bears, with a bunch of stuff like that. Ashton Washington doing some amazing stuff out there. Very inspirational individual that she is. But Parker Washington, 58 receptions, 847 yards, 5 tutties. A halfway decent season for the 13-4, number one in the division, Jacksonville Jaguars. So what do? Right? We saw the playoff game, and it was like, man, they just didn't have enough on defense. They lost to the Buffalo Bills in a really close game. You kind of thought to yourself, man, if they had a little bit more on defense where they can just stop somebody, they can hold somebody. Maybe that's what they need to do. In free agency, they go out and they get running back Chris Rodriguez. That's going to help them out along the goal line. They re-sign edge rusher Dennis Gardick. $6.5 million deal. They don't do anything really splashy in free agency, but they lose people. This is where the issue comes in, right? They lose people. They lose one of their best linebackers in Devin Lloyd, a 3-year, $42 million deal to go to the Carolina Panthers. They lose Travis Etienne, the running back, the guy that had 13 total touchdowns for them. They lose him to the New Orleans Saints. He goes back to Louisiana. So what do they do in the draft? How does this draft help them out? Well, they don't have a first-round pick. They go and they get a tight end, Nate Boerker from Texas A&M. Pretty solid, right? In the third round, they get a defensive tackle, help out along that defense. We questioned that defense for them. They get Albert Regis out of Texas A&M, 2 A&M guys. In the third round, their third pick, they get an offensive lineman, help protect our franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Emmanuel Prengron from Oregon. Another third-round pick. They had 3 picks in the third round. That's awesome. Defensive back Jalen Husky, once again, helping out that defense. That's what the Jacksonville Jaguars are focusing on that defense. Fourth-round pick. Defensive end Wesley Williams out of Duke. You can see what they're doing here. They're focusing on what the issue was. The biggest question mark to me that I'm going to have for the Jacksonville Jaguars is that running back position. And I know if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's so funny because as in the weird position that I'm in with the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they show me a little bit of love, so I show them love back, I wind up getting like these weird ads and stuff like that from them. But I'm trying to bring up the roster right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars to see who they have that is going to pick up the slack for what they lost with Travis Etienne. And that's going to be a tough one, man, because, again, like you're talking about a team that's losing 13 total touchdowns. And I get it. It was the first year that Travis Etienne actually showed out a little bit, right? Like we've been waiting for this version of Travis Etienne to show up if you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. They have Bashal Tutin, who I like. I like Bashal Tutin. I think he's a really solid running back. You signed Chris Rodriguez. We mentioned that. You have Amir Abdullah. You have DJ Dallas. Right? But there's nothing here that really makes you say, oh, okay, yeah, that's going to be the one. I would like to say it's going to be Bashal Tutin, but Bashal Tutin has gotten injured so damn much. Also, it's a fun name to say, just Bashal Tutin. But based off of just that, I can once again see a scenario because I 100% agree with people where they say, look, Tip, Tommy's saying Bashal Tutin was actually healthy last season. That's wild. But like, as much as I like him, I don't know if that's the guy that you can trust going forward, right? But I guess we would have said the same thing about Travis Etienne going into last year. Maybe that's what it was. It was a contract season, so sometimes you play out of your mind in order to get that new contract, right? And shout out to Travis Etienne getting that contract with the Saints. But oh, I like that. He's tooting the rock. If that's not the name of your fantasy team, Tommy, I'm going to be surprised. Saying that Travis Etienne was also healthy last season, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, but those are the outliers, right? Because Etienne's been in the league, 4 years now, and that was a one healthy season that he had. You finally got to see, like, this is the guy. But again, how much of that is it was for the, trying to get that new contract? Because it really does feel that way. He's just trying to go get that new contract. I can see a scenario where records flip, right? The Texans wind up winning the division. The Jags make it to the wild card. But because the AFC South is such an interesting division, would you be surprised if the Indianapolis Colts won that division? I don't think anybody would be surprised. We saw how great they started last season, right? If Daniel Jones plays like Daniel Jones last year, that's a scary-ass team to think of. Jonathan Taylor, that offensive line, like they've got some makings there, right? And then I can also see a scenario where the Jaguars are the best team in the division. I think the AFC South is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I've said that over the last couple of years. I think that it's going to be absolutely fun to watch. Augustine says, here's my preview. The Texans win the division with an 11-6 record. Wow. Tommy's saying, yeah, the Saints took a big gamble on will Etienne stay healthy through the length of that contract? And that's going to be the biggest question, man. Can Travis Etienne actually stay healthy for that whole contract? I wanted to try to do the NFC South today. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the NFC South today. Tommy's saying that he could see anyone but Tennessee winning that division. I agree. I think Tennessee is going to be better. Again, it's not hard, right? When you have 3 wins on the season, better is 4. But I think what they're going to be is Tennessee will probably be like a 5 to 6 win team, but they're going to be close. I think that's what people want to see. They want them to be close. They want to have them in close games, right? But I can also see a scenario where the wheels absolutely fall off of the Tennessee Titans and they just get the dog shit beat out of them. Just time and time again. But there you go. We will talk more about the AFC South later on this week. Maybe I just dedicate this week to the NFC South and the AFC South. The next week will be the AFC North, the NFC North. The week after that will be the AFC West, the NFC West. And then we end with the AFC East and the best damn division in football, the NFC East. I think that's what we're going to do. And that'll get us right to where we need to be the first week of the NFL season. It is finally here for us, boys. Tommy says that he thinks 10-6 is good enough to win that division. There's a part of me that thinks you can probably be 9-8 or 8-9 and win that division. Tommy's saying the NFC East, giving a little bit of a flex right there for our boys in the NFC East. I think that's what makes the AFC South so fun, right? Is that you can see, whenever I said it, you could see a team being 9-8 or 8-9 winning that division. Or you can see another scenario where a team there goes 13-4. I think that's the one division that we can look at objectively and say there's such a wide range of possibilities. 3 teams that we think can win that division, right? 3 teams that we genuinely think can win that division. And it can either be a losing record that wins that division or an absolutely dominant record that wins that division. But I think we know the writing on the wall is whoever wins that division, probably not a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I know that's weird. You make it to the playoffs, anything can happen. I'm the guy that says that a million times, right? But I don't think you can look at someone from the AFC South, other than our beloved Jacksonville Jaguars, and say that there is the real possibility of that team winning the Super Bowl. You just can't. All right, y'all. Once again, I appreciate the love and support so much. Shows this week are going to be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. No show on Wednesday because on Wednesday, Baseball is back in the Sun City. Our first day game since May in El Paso for a Wednesday. The El Paso Chihuahuas back here at home, taking on the Salt Lake Bees. I hope to see y'all out there at that stadium. It's going to be a fun time, especially on Wednesday for a little bit of day drinking baseball. Hopefully I'll see y'all out there. Once again, y'all, I love and appreciate the support. As always, I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you here tomorrow. Maybe, Tommy, 8:30 is going to be the time that we hit everybody with the Just the Tip segment. I apologize to your child, but you're the one that put it on in the car. And I absolutely love you for that, guys. Once again, everyone, thank you so much. We will see you then. Have yourself a great Monday.